Welcome back to Winners and Losers, the first one of the season. The football is back.
Come on.
Get in. Christopher Hamill is sat to my right. Christopher, who is our first winner?
Our first winner chicken dinner is Arsenal, and this comes from Way of Ace on my Twitter feed. They beat Leicester 4-3 in Sky Sports' first Friday night football season opener, and they came from 2 goals down to snatch the 3 points at the very death. Now, Arsenal did well considering they were extremely short of defensive options. Mustafi, Koscielny and Mertesacker were out, which meant that Monreal had to start at centre-back in a back 3. So there was always going to be goals. Anyway, yes, Lacazette opened the scoring with his first shot on goal and only his second touch of the game, the first
Hell of a player.
being kickoff. But he looks like more than a finisher. I was extremely impressed with his all-round game. He peeled out to the left. He created a couple of great opportunities second half. And if his teammates got on the end of him, he could have had a couple of assists to his name too. Props to Oxlade-Chamberlain on the night as well, who started at left wing back and finished at right back. Had a much better second half. He completed 8 dribbles on the night. He also won 3 tackles, 3 aerial duels, and laid on a further 2 chances for his teammates. Although he was popping off shots from left, right and centre, which may explain why Arsenal had so many shots.
100%.
Anyway, as good as Arsenal were going forward, Joseph, they were shocking at defending set pieces, which was a reoccurring theme throughout the weekend.
Whole
we'll touch upon that a bit later. But yeah, tell me a little bit more about the game.
Yeah, I thought this was a game of substitutions. I thought Arsene Wenger got his very right, and I thought Craig Shakespeare got his slightly wrong. Not very wrong, but slightly wrong. I thought when he brought on Iheanacho and stuck with a 4-4-2 in the 82nd minute, he should have gone to a 4-5-1, bunkered down defensively, because from then on in, they shipped 2 goals from the moment Iheanacho came onto the pitch. Conversely, Arsene Wenger, like I said, got it really right. Ramsey and Giroud both came on. Both of them scored goals. Both of them really, really strong impacts on this football game. Ramsey offered so much more going forward than El Neni, of course. In his last 6 competitive games, he's got 3 goals and 2 assists. Immediately could have had a goal with a header, then scored a fantastic finish after a brilliant Xhaka through ball. Giroud as well, what an option to come off the bench Giroud is. He is such an aerial threat, and he is getting now towards super sub territory, I think, Olivier Giroud. 30% of his 70 Premier League goals have come between the 75th and the 90th minute. 30%, so he is clinical at the death. I thought Arsenal were really dominant, 27 shots to Leicester's 6, 10 on target. I actually thought it was a pretty good performance by Arsenal, although like we said, let down at set pieces. If they can get those defenders that were injured, Mustafi, Koscielny, back on the pitch, they're going to be a serious threat this season.
Our first loser comes from the Noob Bros, and it was Liverpool who again defended set pieces like a bunch of noobs. Please tell me more.
Yes, Watford 3, Liverpool 3 at Vicarage Road. Ugly scenes and an ugly start for Jurgen Klopp, particularly at the back, and given the fact that the Hornets hadn't won in their last 6 Premier League games, although this was Marco Silva's first game in charge, and we know how good of a manager he is. Like I said though, Liverpool at the back, serious issues. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Lovren and Moreno does not strike fear into the heart of any strike force in the Premier League. Moreno in particular, dearie me, you can see why it was his first start in 11 months. And in the first half, he attempted 4 tackles. He won absolutely 0 of them. The old problem comes back to striking as well. Set pieces. These guys just cannot defend corners. Conceded 2 in this game. 1 potential offside, but let's not talk about that right now. In fact, since Klopp took over at LFC, they have conceded the most goals of any Premier League side from corners. That's 27, and that is absolutely unacceptable. Klopp needs to fix that, fix it quickly. He's in the press this morning talking about how Liverpool need to sign 3 or 4 starting players, which is a lot as well. But as bad as they're at the back, they were good going forward, weren't they?
They were. And just to touch upon that point about the defence briefly, did you see Jamie Carragher and Jamie Redknapp's heated debate about it on Sky?
Yes, I did.
It was fantastic. I mean, Redknapp was making the point that they need to sign Van Dijk, which I agree with, but Carragher went one further to say that even if Van Dijk comes in and he replaces Matip or Lovren in that system, they're still conceding that goal.
Yeah.
It was a mismatch in that zonal marking system. I think Firmino was picking up Okaka. He is a big bloke. But yes, back to the forwards. Mane, Salah and Firmino were all very dangerous in their debut game together, and all three got on the score sheet. Mane's finish in particular was absolutely brilliant, and props to Moreno, who won the ball back very far up the pitch. Probably better in his attacking endeavours on the night than his defensive duties. Now, Salah wins the penalty. He wasn't great on the night after we've waxed lyrical about him all pre-season, and Firmino finishes it. And he now has the most Premier League goals at the club since he signed, which amounts to 22.
It's impressive.
Salah then scores the third goal, which was a tap-in after Firmino's attempted lob. But he was also very wasteful, Salah, after that. Particularly that toe poke with his left foot that went into Rose there. He had 5 shots on the night, 4 were off target. Yeah, but without Coutinho and Lallana, to be fair, there was a massive disconnect in that Liverpool midfield and attack. I think they were heavily reliant on Henderson's balls over the top to Salah. They were hoping that they got in behind that Watford defence. And they actually tried more long balls on the night than Leicester did against Arsenal. This is a team that is supposed to put together these quick attacking manoeuvres seamlessly.
Shambles.
But yeah, it looks like if Coutinho goes to Barcelona, they could be in deep trouble with the likes of Emre Can and Wijnaldum. The same mould of player.
Very poor.
They need a creator, and they need one now, and they also need a defender. Who do you think Liverpool should go out and get? Let us know in the comments below.
Our next winner gets me a bit excited, hamster. Manchester United.
And you know what? As much as it pains me to say, you guys did look absolutely brilliant as you thrashed a hapless West Ham, it has to be said. 4-0 at Old Trafford on Super Sunday. Now, this was Jose Mourinho's biggest Premier League win as Manchester United boss, and Man United's biggest win in the last 3 years. There's a return of goals to Old Trafford.
Finally.
And it's about time too, isn't it? And this will pain Chelsea fans, but Matic was easily man of the match. He was mopping up everything. He gained the most possession. That was 9 times he won back possession for his side. He completed the most take-ons, which with 7.
Insane.
I think 4 of those happened in one isolated incident on the right-hand side when he turned into Zinedine Zidane. He completed 60-odd passes, and his midfield partner to Paul Pogba was fantastic. He fully deserved his goal. That's 16 from outside the box now since 2013. He's becoming somewhat of a specialist and adding numbers to that promise. Now, United were very clinical. That wasn't the case last season, but you scored 4 goals from 6 shots on Sunday. Lukaku looked absolutely deadly as well. As I say, huge improvement on last year where you drew 11 times at home.
Madness.
And this was anything but, this resembled anything but one of those bore draws, didn't it?
100%. Our front three look extremely exciting. Lukaku, Mkhitaryan and Rashford were all absolutely phenomenal in this game. Rashford had Zabaleta on toast for the entire game. He looked seriously past it, Zabaleta. Obviously,
tough day.
It was a tough day at the office when you got the likes of Rashford and then Martial coming on to add insult to injury. Rashford, 1 assist, hit the post. Mkhitaryan, 2 assists. Most chances created of any player in the Premier League this weekend. That was 7. Martial was only on the pitch for 12 minutes, got a goal and an assist. He looked absolutely phenomenal on the ball, but the man everybody wants to talk about is Romelu Lukaku. 2 goals on his home Premier League debut for Manchester United. He has now scored on 3 consecutive Premier League debuts. West Brom, Everton and Manchester United.
It's impressive.
And it wasn't a big surprise.
No.
He loves playing against West Ham. He scored more Premier League goals against West Ham than any other side. He's got 9 in 11 games now. And he's got 14 in his last 16 competitive fixtures for Everton and Manchester United. He looks a seriously dangerous prospect, a completely different option to what we had with Zlatan last season.
I think props to Juan Mata as well. His endeavour, his movement causes all sorts of problems. And when you play maybe lesser clubs, I think he's going to link up with Lukaku really, really well.
100%. When Mata comes from that right-hand side and Lukaku pulls to the left, it's almost impossible to stop. But were you at home impressed with Manchester United like I was, like Chris was? Let us know what you thought of the performance in the comments below.
Ashley Folds provides us with our next loser, and no prizes for guessing who it is, Joseph. Antonio Conte's Blues had an absolute Tony Blair.
Oh dear, of course, losing 3-2 at home to Burnley. By far our biggest losers, you guys said, at home with 70% of a Twitter vote. madness from Antonio Conte. He is not a happy bunny. Chelsea becoming only the second side in Premier League history to lose the opening game of the season as champions. Of course, Leicester City did it as well. And the Blues have a real problem, a disciplinary problem. Cahill sent off. Fabregas sent off, finished the game here with 9 men. In fact, Chelsea have had 4 men sent off in their last 3 competitive matches. Conte coming out after the game saying he's going to have to start planning for 10 men. Cahill was sent off after just 13 minutes as well. Really rash tackle. Bit of debate whether it was a yellow or a red card. I think it was a red card.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Studs up, lunging, poor touch, red card. Fabregas, though, pure stupidity. No need to be clapping the ref in that scenario so early in the game. And the second was a very, very poor tackle on a yellow card as well. I mean, Burnley were 3-0 up at half-time here. 2 goals from Vokes. What is going on? And a great finish by Ward, by the way. Absolute pinger on your left peg. But Hamster, tell us a little bit about the game.
Well, last season Burnley just won the one away game, and that came in April, so they've already equalled that record, and they were clinical, weren't they?
Yes.
Big Sam Vokes had a 100% shot accuracy on the day. I don't think he'll have another game like that in his life, the Welshman. But yeah, as you'd expect, Chelsea were dominant in possession with 62%. They had 19 shots to Burnley's 10 as well. But they just didn't have the firepower. No. When they went down to 10 men, they had no one to bring on from the bench, barring Morata, who's in my dream team. Thank he came on, got me some points, happy days. But yeah, other than that, Caballero, Kennedy, Masonda, who should have come to Celtic. Promising young Belgian man. Christensen, who had a good season in the Bundesliga last year. Yeah. He's had 2 good seasons there, in fact. He came on. Tomori, don't know who he is. Moving on. Scott and Morata.
Such a poor bench.
As I said, the only ray of light was Morata, who came on, took his goal really well, and provided a fabulous assist.
Such a good assist.
For David Luiz, of all people, who's the most advanced man on the pitch.
He's in my dream
position, and that's why we love him. But yes, the last Chelsea player to score on his debut was who, Joseph?
It was Alexandra Pato, mate.
Another titan of the game, yes, versus Aston Villa. But the stupidity of the sendings off, and now the fact they have to go and play Tottenham without Fabregas, without Cahill.
And with such a thin squad.
Well mean they're our losers next week as well.
Yeah, I mean, that squad is turd.
But who do Chelsea need to sign? Let us know in the comments below. Diego, come back. Please.
Our final winner of the day, it's the man who left United, it's Wazaru Hamster.
Yes, and he got off to the best possible start in his second spell at Everton as he scored the only goal in a 1-0 victory over Stoke. Didn't watch it, but it sounds like a classic. Yes, he headed in from Calvert-Lewin's cross on the stroke of half-time, prompting Ronald Koeman to say he's still one of the best in his position. Only time will tell on that front, but it's good to see him a little bit more reinvigorated. We saw his celebration, how passionate he remains and how hungry for the game he remains, which is good to see. He said it was a special moment for him, obviously evident in his celebration, as I said, and he scored with his only shot of the game. A little bit more of a worrying statistic. Why isn't he creating opportunities? Was that Everton as a whole? Not sure. I'll throw that over to you after because I know you watched the game a little bit. He also created 2 chances. He completed 4 crosses and maintained a pass accuracy of 84%. So a solid start to his second stint at Everton. But not a spectacular team performance, or so I'm led to believe.
Well, particularly in the first half, Everton were bang average. Didn't cause Stoke any troubles really at all up until the goal. Where Stoke fell asleep, made 1 error right on the stroke of half-time, a brilliant header as well, back across the goal. Just what you want from Rooney, but I didn't think Everton were that impressive. Jordan Pickford made an absolute miracle save as well to keep them to keep the score at 1-0. But Rooney, like we said, is going to be a happy boy today. That was his 199th Premier League goal as well, just 1 away from the 200 mark. Now he's also got 101 assists. That means he's been involved in 300 Premier League goals, only second to Alan Shearer, who was involved in 324. In my opinion, Rooney will break that record at Everton. He also equals Shearer and Lampard's records for goals scored on the opening weekend. He has now got 8. A brilliant player, brilliant career, but like you said, 1 shot in this game. I'm not too sure whether his displacement of Klaassen in that attacking midfield role is perfect for Everton.
Right, okay.
I thought Sandro looked really sharp up front. They're still missing wide men though. Yannick Bolasie is missed in that Everton team. Whether or not they'll sign a couple more remains to be seen. Not a terrible start to Everton's season, not the best either, but Wayne Rooney will definitely be a happy toffee.
Our last loser is the most evil wizard of all time and a very naughty boy. John Joe Shelby. He was sent off again. Joe, tell me a bit more about the game and him.
Yes, well, he cost Newcastle the game, in my opinion. Of course, 0-0 and a really close match up until the sending off. Then Tottenham just ran away with it 2-0 at St James's Park. And Spurs love playing against promoted sides. In their last 31 games against promoted teams, they've got 29 wins and 2 draws. But like I said, they might not have had that win if it wasn't for the John Joe Shelby stamp on Dele Alli that was just appalling, stupid and unnecessary. Mind you, Marino, the Dortmund loanee, looks a massive upgrade on Lord Voldemort anyway, so might not be too much of a miss over the next few games. Shelby though, real disciplinary issues. He'd fit in nicely at Chelsea. He's been sent off more than any Newcastle player under Benitez. That's down 3 times. Way too much in just over a season and a half. Christian Atsu, of course, came out after the game and said that John Joe's already apologised for the mistake to his team, and rightly so, because with 10 men, Newcastle just could not cope with the likes of Dele Alli and Ben Davies, who also got on the score sheet.
Although I thought Christian Atsu played quite well.
Yeah.
He caused all sorts of problems, didn't he, for the Kyle Walker-Peters down the right.
Who got man of the match?
Who got man of the match? Yeah, it was a solid performance. I thought Dwight Gale's movement was good. I think he'll get a few goals this season. So still a few bright sparks for Newcastle. But yes, we move on to Tottenham now, and it's Harry Kane who hit the post. He's in my dream team. He failed to score again in August. He's not scored in his last 10 appearances. But others are picking up the slack, mainly Dele Alli now, who has 13 Premier League goals in 2017. The only Englishman to score more is teammate Harry Kane, who's on a frivolous 27.
Jesus.
So way out in front. But yes, when Ali scores, Spurs tend to win. That's 25 games unbeaten when he scored, and he's bagged 29 goals in that period.
That's impressive.
And it helps when you've got a man like Eriksen in the side. He now has 30 assists since the start of the 15-16 campaign. That is the most in the Premier League.
What a player.
And Spurs as a whole maintain that momentum, don't they?
Yep.
They've won 13 of their last 14 Premier League games, and they're looking to add to that squad, which they need to do. Obviously had a bid rejected for Davinson Sanchez, but if they can get him in, that'll really solidify that back competition for places in that back 4. Still think they need another right back. Kyle Walker-Peters would be a massive, be a tall order to ask him to play like that for the rest of the season, and maybe someone else as backup for Christian Eriksen. But who do you think Spurs should sign, guys? Let us know in the comments below, just for a change.
So that's all we've got time for on winners and losers today. If you want to get your suggestions in next week, hit us up on Twitter on these 2 handles. But Christopher Hammer, what should people do next?
Euro Roundup comes out in about an hour, so stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, why don't you watch Stat Wars The Champions? It was John Babb versus Lawrence McKenna. Who came out on top? The only thing I can tell you is those 2 talk a lot.
A lot. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you later. Sayonara.